Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Behind the Group podcast. I am DJ Keo.
And I am Basil Barrington, and we are back. Today we are doing the year in review, our best of best for 2022. Keo, man, we
Yes,
watched a lot of stuff. I was
a
looking at the
lot of
YouTube
stuff.
channel. And here's the thing. We watched a lot of stuff. We reviewed a
Mhm.
lot of stuff, but we also watched a lot of stuff just on our own.
Yeah, I'm a movie buff. I like watching movies, and
Yeah.
you're the same way. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff we didn't film or put in the channel, but we did watch it
Yeah.
for
And
sure.
so with this best of list, it may be items that we reviewed, but it also may be items that we watched, just solo that we thought was
Yeah,
pretty dope. So we may add that
yeah.
as well. And the other thing is, I was just also posting the next video, the next
Mhm.
podcast, and totally forgot that was episode number 103. So, dude, we've already reached
Yeah, we're
100
cranking.
episodes. We're
Yeah, we're
cranking these
cranking through
joints
these
up.
things, man.
And let me just do some spring cleaning, or I should say winter cleaning.
Mhm,
So we're going to do
mhm.
this review. We're going to release it, and then we will probably take a little break, and we will be back sometime in January because
Yeah,
we need to chill out, and
yeah,
hang out with
yeah.
family. And,
It's Christmas time,
not to
So
mention, I got
yeah,
2 weeks off. So I'm like chilling, dude. I got the studio
yeah,
cranked
yeah.
up. I'm going to try and
Mhm,
finish this EP I've been working on. So we will
mhm,
see. But today, like I said, we are talking about the best of best for the Behind the Groove podcast. Everything that we watched, everything that we
mhm.
haven't reviewed, it may be on this list. So I'm going to start off with best animated movie, film, call it whatever you want to, but the best
Okay.
animated film, not TV series, but film.
Uh, oh, film.
Or
Okay.
you know what? I was thinking about that. I was like, should it be best animated should be film or TV? So let's go best animated film or TV that we've watched,
Okay.
reviewed, or even on your own.
Okay. So for me, the best animated TV or movie slash TV movie,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with Cyberpunk. I think that show was phenomenal, and it is groundbreaking if you think about it. Like they incorporate parts of the game into the storyline. You can every part of the TV show you can go to it in the game. You can physically see it and interact with people there. I thought that was one of the best things I've seen this year as far as animation goes, visually and story wise. So like that's my best animation for the year. What's your show or movie?
Okay, so I had a couple choices. I had something we didn't watch,
Mm-hmm.
Arcane, and I also had Exception and something I just watched the other night, Intergalactic. But I am going with Exception because I thought Exception was something I've never seen before. I've never seen this sort of plot. I've never seen that
Mm-hmm.
sort of storyline. It's just like you're trying to terraform a planet and you're sending up a ship
It's
that's going to then,
copies.
yeah, it's going to like 3D print
Mhm,
people. And I'm just like, wow, who thinks about stuff like that? So I was pretty
mhm,
impressed with that series. But Cyberpunk was just completely phenomenal. That's on my list on a lot of other things, but that was also
mhm,
pretty dope too. Um,
mhm,
so best animated, you have Cyberpunk, Edge Runners. I have Exception. Let's go to the
mhm.
next. Okay, so
Okay.
this is the best TV series, Episodic. And I know, Cyberpunk
Mhm.
and also Exception is a part of
Yeah,
that.
it counts as that
Yeah,
too.
but you have some other things too. So what are you doing for what are you selecting for your best TV series of 2022?
Okay, my best TV series, and this was kind of a shocker because I wasn't expecting much out of it, but it was Andor.
Mm-hmm.
I was very invested into this show, and it was surprising because Star Wars they've been putting out a lot of crap lately, a pile of poo,
Yeah.
and they made an adult show with adult themes, and it was like stakes and stuff like that, and the quality was high. The actors were really good. You had top notch actors in there. Storyline was great, top to bottom. When I first started watching, I was like, "This is incredible." And I was telling everybody, like, "This is incredible." I cannot believe nobody watched this show. It's kind of disappointing. I don't know if they're gonna make another season. I hope they do, but Andor is my top show for this year.
Okay. So I had 4 items on this list here.
Mhm.
But the first one was Andor. And I'm also going to select Andor because
Mhm.
I actually ended up watching Andor like a second time, So I watched like
Yes,
the
yeah.
entire, 12
Mhm.
episodes twice. And I mean, it's sort of the way it was put together, the way it looked, it sort of reminded me a little bit just of the quality of The Expanse.
Mhm.
This was very quality driven. It's just like
Yeah.
you are invested in the episodes. You want to see the next episode, even though there may be a
Yeah.
lull in like activity or action. It's just like I still want to see that. So
Mhm.
we both gave the best TV series to Andor.
Yeah.
Okay, next category, best director. Who are you giving that to?
Okay, so this is a movie that we didn't actually review, but
Okay.
I loved it a lot, and that goes to John Krasinski.
Mhm.
He's the director of Top Gun with Tom Cruise, and
Okay.
this movie, it broke records.
Mhm.
I think it made like $1 billion and something at the box office, and for
What?
good
Really?
reason. Yeah. Oh, it made $1 billion. Yeah, and
Tom
for
Cruise is the
good
man.
reason. Yeah, for very good reason. Like
Wow.
so the reason why I gave it to him is because he had to bring nostalgia from the 80s movie and make it current, but still tell a good story and still have people invested in this cast, even though they like the previous thing, and people who have never even seen the original Top Gun before. You had to give a good story. You had miscellaneous villains because they couldn't really pick a country because obvious reasons. They want to make this movie play worldwide, so the obviously reasons they couldn't pick a country. So you had miscellaneous villains that were still compelling. The lead actor was great. The storyline was great. The action was phenomenal. It brought people from different ages and groups together that were younger, older, everything together. Nostalgia was on point. Action was on point. So this is my director of the year.
Wow. So you know what? Tom Cruise. I mean, he's Tom Cruise. Say what you want
He's a
to
bunch of
about the guy,
W's.
but it's Tom Cruise.
He's crazy as hell, but this guy throws up W's when it comes to movies.
I mean,
I
has
can't
he?
think of a movie in the last 20 years I was like, I don't like that.
I was about to say. I mean, I can't even think of any L's for Tom Cruise.
He hasn't taken many. If any,
Yeah.
he hasn't
I
taken
mean,
many.
if anything, it's like L's and like just like what he does, like just outside of movies.
Yeah, like personal life, you're like, all right,
Right.
but like when it comes to movies,
Yeah.
this guy cares a lot, and he throws up very good quality movies.
Yeah.
Consistently.
I am going to give the best director for me to Tony Gilroy. He did Andor. And the reason being is because Andor is, man, this is, I don't know if this is, I don't want to say it's a blueprint, but I mean, he had everything going in it. He had diversity. He had like excellent sets, like the cinematography was dope. These guys, they, like I was telling you before, these guys, they didn't even have a writer once they shot the scenes.
That's crazy.
I mean,
that is crazy.
they had everything tight before they went in to shoot the film, the series. I was like, okay, this guy's on point. So I'm just like, wow, this is really so. And then I heard a lot of interviews of him and with him in it, and I was just like, okay, this guy, he's cerebral. He gets it, So Tony Gilroy for me with for doing like Andor. Okay, best actor. And that could be in a TV, series, a film, whatever it is.
I'm giving it to Tom Cruise. I have Top Gun fever right now. I just watched it again a couple days ago, and I was like, holy crap. It's Tom Cruise gets it, best actor. I don't have to say anymore. You guys know, so we'll just move on.
Okay, I gave best actor to Diego Luna because, I don't know, he's like, you were talking about Rogue One, and I was like, okay. I stopped watching, Andor,
and you went back,
and I watched Rogue One, and I was like, okay, Andor is kind of cool in this one, right? And so I was like, oh, okay, I get it now, and I'm just like, he's kind of an a-hole. He's also...
This guy shoots everybody first. He does not care.
He's kind of weird too, and it's almost like he doesn't understand like what you're saying, but he just gets it. I mean, I think that's his character. Obviously it is. And I thought he hit it out the park, man. So Diego Luna for me.
Yeah, he did a
Best
great job.
actress in a TV
Uh,
series or a movie. Who you going with?
okay, so this was a tough one. We were talking about this offline, and I'm going with Dominique Tipper. She was in The Expanse, and I know you have your beef with her as a character. I think she's phenomenal in the show, and yeah, she's my favorite actress on a TV show or in general right now. I'd
Mm,
throw her in there. Yeah.
okay. I had two choices.
Mm-hmm.
I selected two choices. One was Mothma of
Mm-hmm.
the of Andor, and the other one is Christian of the Expanse. I'm not even
Mm-hmm.
going to attempt
Yeah, this is again.
to
Just
pronounce
rid
her
of her.
name, but she was the person who was like in the Expanse. Christian, who was this like snatched
Mm-hmm.
from the like flow up, just everything, boots, everything. So
Gangster grandma, man. She's very
gangster
gangster.
grandma, dude. So I'm giving it to Chris Jan from The Expanse because she kind of
Mhm.
rocked it, dude. I mean, like, she kind of rocked it, you know.
Okay.
Okay, next category, best cinematography. Keo, who do you have here?
For this one, I went with All Quiet on the Western Front. I
Ooh,
visually, this movie was stunning. Like it
yeah.
was, it's breathtaking just looking at it and the colors and everything like that. So this is my cinematography pick for this year.
Okay, let me ask you this before I give you my choice. What did you think
Mhm.
about the cinematography with Loki?
I thought it was good, but like because it was a TV show, and I know they filled it in the volume.
Hmm.
I think they kind of took away because they were on
Yes.
set for this
Yeah.
other movie, so
Hmm.
they had to frame everything right. The lighting had to be right. Like it
Yeah.
had to. It took a lot of more effort into doing it on location than with computer generated stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, this is my pick.
Once you're doing the whole CGI, it's a little easier to nudge
Yeah,
left
it's
and
way
right.
easier. Yeah.
You know,
No one's cold. You
no
know what
one's
I'm saying?
cold.
Like everyone's nice in the air conditioned studio. So yeah.
Oddly enough, you were talking about All Quiet on the Western Front, which was phenomenal in terms of cinematography. Also, a
Mhm.
phenomenal film. Black Crab was also the same.
Yes.
It was
Yeah,
sort
because
of
it's
like
on
that too.
location.
Two foreign films, all
Mhm,
shot in camera. You
mhm.
know, on location. So I'm going to give it to Black Crab because that sort of had the same
Yeah.
feel. You could just tell. I mean,
Visuals
you
are
had like
stunning.
visuals were stunning, dude. And
Mhm.
again, a foreign film. Americans, North America, a foreign film. We need to get
Get
that
your
right.
get your act together, man.
Get it
Yo.
together. Okay, next category is best production set design. What do you have here?
Mm. So, even though I hated the series, well, I didn't hate it. I disliked it a lot. I give it to Rings of Power, and you can tell they put a lot of effort into building this stuff up and making the sets right. So
Yeah.
I give it to that for sure.
Yeah, the set design was dope. On my list of choices, I had Andor, All Quiet on the Western Front, and Black Crab. I'm going to
Mhm.
give it to Andor because Andor, the set
Yes, it was a
design,
good
like
choice.
it was just so huge. I mean, you
Mhm,
had like all these different scenes from different locations, and I was just like, man, and all shot in camera, and I'm just like, this is pretty
mhm.
awesome. So I gave it to Andor for best production set design.
This is why it's so important to film on location versus doing
It
everything computer generated.
Yes, and if you can shoot in the actual location, like not in
Mhm.
Belarus, and you really think that you're shooting in El Paso, is just like, come on, that's not El
Yeah,
Paso, right?
because yeah, that movie would have helped greatly if they were actually in El Paso.
Right, because you would have gotten the culture, you would have gotten the vibe,
Yeah.
you would have gotten everything. So next category is best supporting actor. Keo, who do you have?
So I'm gonna go with another K. Keon Alexander, Marco from The Expanse, phenomenal actor.
Mhm.
Everybody hated this dude's guts when they were watching this show. Like they were like, "I hate this guy. Hope he loses." So that's my guy for this one for best supporting actor.
Marco was completely compelling. He
That
came
was
in like at the what
beast.
was it like the fifth and sixth season, like towards
Yeah.
the end of the fifth season. Then he rocked it out for the
Hmm.
sixth season. Pretty good. My best supporting actor is also from The Expanse. It's Amos West Chatham from
Yes.
he
Yes.
was in like all six episodes. He was like the bang bang guy. He was basically the muscle. You know
Yeah, yeah.
He was the
He was
muscle from
solid
Baltimore.
actor.
Solid actor,
He's
you know.
solid actor. Great
And he
job.
also has a great video podcast too. Great
Oh, he
video
does.
podcast. Yes. Mhm.
Okay, I gotta check that
Okay.
out.
Next category, best supporting actress. Who do you have here?
So I have Genevieve O'Reilly, and she was the Andor. She played Mon Mothra,
Mm-hmm.
and she was phenomenal because, like, you know, she had a whole side story about funding the rebellion, and I was like, make a show out of this. I can watch the Andor. I can watch a show out of this. The
Yeah.
politics is going on in Coruscant. Like, this is phenomenal. I loved it.
Yeah.
Phenomenal actress. Great job.
You know, just in Rogue One, you really didn't know what she
Mm-hmm.
did. And then, like, once you saw Andor, you were like, okay, she
Mm-hmm.
stepped up her game, you know, in terms of, like, you know, just funding the rebellion and
Mm-hmm.
everything else like that. And you make a really good point. Disney, what they're doing is they're taking characters from different, you know, sort of franchises and making
Mm-hmm.
them into shows, not even
Yeah.
understanding that what they've been creating, they can create
Mm-hmm.
shows from some of those, you know, points or some of those
Yeah.
characters, you
If
know,
if you do a really good job, you can build something up. It's worth making a show out of, for
like the
sure.
Inquisitors, like Ma, you know, like who, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, who do? I mean, to be honest with you, Boba Fett wasn't something that showed up a lot in Star Wars.
Mhm. Yeah,
Boba
yeah.
Fett is
He's
kind
a
of new.
minor character.
Yeah, he's a minor
They made
character.
they're supposed to make a movie out of it that fell through, and then they made the TV show that was terrible. It should have fell through too,
Completely
but
terrible, dude. Completely. My best supporting actress is Kamina Drummer from The Expanse.
okay. Excellent
Now, I had
choice.
three choices. I had Kamina Drummer. I also had Bobby
Mhm.
Frankie Adams from The Expanse. And I also had
Mhm.
Princess Leia from Kenobi because she kind of rocked out. So, you know, you
Uh-huh.
got to give her flowers, you know what I'm saying, while
Mhm.
she's still here because she rocked out.
She'll be here for
So,
a while. She's tiny, so
yeah, so Kamina Drummer is my best supporting actress. So,
Mhm.
next category is best visual effects. Who do you have here,
Mhm.
man?
Okay, so this was a tough one because the movie was so bad.
Mm-hmm.
But visually it was absolutely stunning, especially what they did to Earth and, you know, the moon part of it. So my pick for this is Moonfall for special effects.
Dude,
Yeah,
Moonfall
yeah.
was so
It was a
whack.
bad movie. It was a
And it
terrible
could
movie.
have been so good.
It had so much potential to be a great thing,
So
but
much
it's
potential.
awful. It was really bad. But visually, you cannot deny when they started losing oxygen and all the other stuff when
Yeah.
the moon started cracking apart. Like,
Mhm.
visually, it looked great. It really did. So
I think
that's
that
my
the same people who directed or has something to do with Extent, which was the CBS series that Halle Berry was in,
Mhm.
I think they had something to do with Moonfall. You know,
That's
what's,
I
what's
gotta
the
look that up. That's
what's the
possible.
show we saw on ANC? Moon something.
Moonhaven.
Moonhaven. Okay, that's what I'm mixing
Yeah,
it
yeah,
up
yeah.
with. Okay, but you know,
Yeah, yeah.
Moonfall. It looks like they're coming out with a sequel. So, who knows?
That'll be interesting.
That'll
I'd
be
watch it.
interesting.
It's
I
terrible
would.
though, but I watch it.
I would. My best visual effects would be. Oh, man, I had three choices here. I'm gonna go with Lord of the Rings, The
Okay.
Rings of Power, because I know the Lord of the Rings people out there. I know they just lost their hair, like me. They just lost their hair. They're just like, I can't do this. I'm gonna lose my hair. It's just like, yo, it's art. You know what I'm saying? It's art. Give art. Art is the only thing that will save the world. Art.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, art will save the world. So I'm giving it to the Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. Okay, best documentary.
This one was kind of easy because we didn't really review a lot of documentaries.
Yeah,
It's We Met in Virtual Reality,
I got that
and
too.
yeah, that
Mhm.
was it was touching. It was sad. It was
Yeah.
riveting.
Yep.
It was compelling. It was all those things wrapped up in one. And yeah, that's my pick for best documentary.
Mine too. We Met in Virtual Reality. This is a documentary. It was. It appeared like in Sundance and also the Toronto Film Festival. HBO picked it up and they made it into a documentary. This is a movie about obviously VR, virtual reality. It was recorded in virtual reality All the characters are in their virtual reality selves, with tails and things like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I thought this is that was an extremely compelling documentary. A little
Yes,
sad, a
it's
little
worth watching.
fun, a little
Yeah.
depressing, but it gives you a nice little peek, a sneak peek
Hmm.
into what this whole virtual reality thing may be. So
Yeah.
we both gave it to We Met in Virtual Reality. Next
Mhm.
category, best costume design. Who do you have here, Keo?
So, best costume design, I have going to the Lord of the Rings. I thought that was pretty good. That overall, visually, like it was well done. It was well
Yeah.
done.
Mm-hmm.
You had the elves, you had different, races, you had a bunch of stuff, and the world looked lived in. So that's always a plus for costume design. Like you want to at least look right.
Yeah.
And so they had to do battle, they had to do a bunch of stuff, and so I liked it. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah,
What is your?
I also gave best costume design to it was between Lord of the Rings and
Mhm,
Andor and The Expanse. I gave it to Lord of the Rings because think about this, right? And
mhm,
also think about that same thing with The Expanse too. In the Lord of the Rings, they not only had to create costumes for all the other sort of the elves, everyone, right? They also had to create costumes for the orcs. They also had to create costumes for the Flintstones, you know. So, I mean, you had all these
yeah,
sexy costumes, then you had all these dirty costumes. And I was like, yo, that's kind of dope. I mean,
yeah.
that's
They
real
had a
dope.
bunch of races and
Yeah,
creatures and everything else. It was
it
well
works
done.
out, man. It's pretty cool. So we
Yeah.
both gave it to Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. Okay,
Mhm.
worst movie or TV series you have seen. Now, this could be something we reviewed or something we haven't reviewed, but what do you think?
Okay, so I gotta take a deep breath.
Okay.
Boba Fett was the biggest stinking pile of crap I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I was so mad watching that show. I was livid. But I'm like, you were as a kid, that was one of my favorite characters of all time because he was mysterious, and it was so badly done. Awful experience. I never
Yeah.
want to see that thing again.
That's I had three choices here. I had the Takeover, which was the hacking movie, which was completely terrible. I had
Yeah,
The Matrix Resurrection, which I don't know why that
mhm.
movie was even made. Excuse me. And I had
Money.
Boba Fett, the book of
Mhm.
Boba Fett. I'm giving it to the book of Boba Fett because I don't even know why this series was
Mhm.
created and released. I mean,
Trash.
I forget who it was. Someone created a movie or a series, spent like $90 million on it, then canned it. You mean to tell me they created
Yeah.
this and no one up top said, we don't need to release this?
Yeah, it was Warner Brothers. They made Batgirl, and they're like, "Nah, not today." And this is the thing: somebody at Lucasfilm should have been like, "Nah, I'm not
Yeah,
feeling this. Let's just
this
stop.
is
Stop while we're ahead."
this is what you follow up with after the Mandalorian, the book of Boba Fett,
Trash.
complete
Pile
trash.
of trash. Dog
Okay,
pile of trash.
total. Okay, Keo, here is, I'm not going to go with best picture yet. I want to go with
Mm.
the best streaming app that you have used. I mean, what do you think the best streaming app is for you?
For me, because of where I live,
Hmm.
I have to say Netflix is the best streaming app. Just for content and layout, all that stuff.
Yeah,
It's I think still the best one by far.
yeah,
Everyone's coming up in the rear because they're trying to build more stuff. Like Disney's trying to build, put content in there, but they still have the library Netflix has because they have the longest build up for it
yeah,
and more
yeah.
years in the game.
That's true. That's true. I'm going to give the best streaming app to Apple TV. Now, they don't have
Mhm.
the content, but Apple has the UI, they have the UX. The joint is super intelligent.
Mhm.
And Netflix is the king, period. I mean, they
Mhm.
have the content, it's intelligent, it's gotten smarter. I mean, it's almost like an AI system. It's just getting smarter all the time, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah. When you
Apple
watch something,
TV, yeah, when
yeah,
you watch something, hey, suggestions. I mean, I know they're trying to plug their own stuff, but the other thing is when you go
it's good
from one,
suggestions though.
yeah, exactly. So it's fine with that. I mean, but
Mhm.
it's like when you look at something, then you go back to where you were. Unlike,
Mhm.
some other streaming services where It's just all kooky.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's like 2 lines of code. That's
Just
it.
go back to where you
It's
were.
2 lines of code.
Exit the movie, boom, right back where you were. That's fairly simple.
Maybe
But
3
apparently not.
lines. Yeah, maybe 3
Yeah.
lines if you're not that great, but it's only 2 lines of coding. So I don't understand that. Okay. So, worst streaming app.
Probably HBO Max. Still. Probably.
You said okay. That's very interesting you said that because HBO Max, you notice that with HBO Max, they're starting to, even on the HBO Max by itself, the standalone, you're starting to see a lot of Discovery Plus programs because they're about to combine
they're
sometime.
merging together.
Yeah,
I think it'll get better, but right now, it's definitely not fully fleshed out yet.
Yeah, I don't know because like Paramount and Showtime, those apps are combined. You can get them separately, but if you get the bundle with Paramount Plus, you get Showtime on top of that. It's terrible. It's terrible, dude, for real. I mean, it's so terrible. This is how terrible it is. I had Paramount Plus on. I got it through Apple TV, right? Excellent experience. And then they had this crazy offer from Paramount Plus. Hey, you can get it for a year for $50. Bing, I got that. I canceled it because I didn't like the experience. So I'm back at it like at $9.99 a month on Apple TV because that experience is so much better. So the worst streaming app for me is Amazon.
Okay.
And the reason why is because, Amazon, someone said, a marketing professor once said, Amazon is a logistics company, right? And they built they built these systems over a decade. And this stuff works. They got robots and they're like, hard, in their warehouses. You mean to tell me this is an app, they own the rails, they own the servers, this stuff is running on AWS.
There's no excuse, man.
There is no excuse. You said something, I meant to tell you this. You said something so funny. You were like, and after we do these, I watch the videos like because I'm editing. And you said you think Jeff Bezos forgot he had like Amazon Prime Video. That's what it feels like. It feels like
exactly like
it
that.
feels like they forgot they had this, right?
Got it. It's like, oh damn, man, we still got Amazon. Like,
yeah, and they did update the app, so it looks a lot better.
It's a little bit better. It's a little bit better now.
They added Freevee, which is their live TV streaming service, but it's not intelligent. If you go from one and you go back, it puts you right back at the homepage with the feed and everything. It's stupid as anything.
And you have IMDb integrated into, like, it should be so much better. You have your resources these other companies don't have.
That is the only thing that is saving Amazon right now in terms of like just UI, UX, and that's the integration of IMDb.
Yeah. I love the fact that I can, when I pause something, it tells me who's on the screen right now. I can look up the actor or whatever. I love it. It's amazing.
Love that. Yeah, for real.
Best
Apple TV does that too, though. Apple TV on their original stuff, they do that too. So we have like 3 other things I just want to discuss, and then we're going to talk about the best picture. So we're going to talk about personal best here. We're going to do 2 categories for personal best, and these are things that you've watched outside of what we reviewed on the Behind the Groove podcast. So, best movie you've watched that we have not reviewed.
There's this movie. It's an independent movie called Everything All at Once, and I think it's with Michelle Yeoh or whatever. I can't remember what her name is. It's like it's sci-fi. It's got like time travel. It's got different dimensions. It's crazy. It's a really good movie.
Yeah, it's on Amazon, right?
I think it's on Amazon. It's a movie worth watching. I saw it in theater. Yeah. It's worth watching. It's a phenomenal movie, and it's definitely like you need to check it out.
Michelle Yeoh should win something this year because she is in everything, and her comeback is amazing, and she is a rock star. Michelle Yeoh is a little bit like Christian Bale, right? I think that's one of the best actors out there for me. He's just really good, and also Denzel Washington's son, he's really good too. But Michelle Yeoh, she's like that. She picks and chooses what she wants. She's like, no, I'm going to do this one because this is more compelling. So
Mhm.
that's very good. So for my best movie that I've watched that we have not reviewed, and I actually just watched this yesterday. It's called Intergalactic, and it's on
Okay.
Netflix. It's an animated movie. It was done by Kid Cudi and also
Mhm.
Kenya Barris, and it's just like I don't know if it's a coming of age sort of thingy, but it's a bit more
Okay.
in depth than that. And it's a fly joint. It's just fly. It's not dope. It's fly. When someone says
Mhm.
if is that dope or fly, you know what fly is if you live in that community. It's just like, oh, that's
Yeah,
fly.
yeah.
This is a fly joint. This is a fly movie. I really appreciate like these two, people coming together, putting, just writing it and directing it. And it's only an hour and
Mhm.
30 minutes long, and it's pretty dope. Gotta love
Mhm.
that. Okay.
Okay.
Best TV. You want to say something?
Oh no, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay. Best TV series that you have watched that we have not reviewed.
Okay, so this one goes out to the House of the Dragon,
Hmm.
Game of Thrones, and after the first Game of Thrones series ended, I was like, I'm
Hmm.
done with this show. F everybody involved with this thing. You guys, I hope
Why?
you burn in hell. It
Why?
ended very poorly.
I heard
It
that. I
ended
heard.
really poorly.
Like
Really
kind of
poorly.
goofy, right?
Yeah, it was just dumb. It didn't make any sense. Like they lost track of everything.
Hmm.
They ended it very poorly. This show right here is one of the best, if not the best, TV show right now on TV.
Really?
It's good. It's really
Okay.
good.
Huh.
It's solid. Acting is good. The direction's good. Set
Hmm.
designs, all that stuff is great. But more than anything, the storyline is compelling. Like you have to watch the next show. You can't. There's no way you're gonna start and be like, I'll get to it later on. You have to watch all the shows right now. Like it's that good.
Okay. You know what? I have not seen that. I'm gonna start watching that tonight.
So it's basically a prequel to Game of Thrones, like a
Yeah.
couple hundred years in advance or in the
Okay.
past or whatever.
I'm gonna
But
watch that.
it is good. It's really good.
Okay. My best TV series that we have not
Mhm.
reviewed is Ghost in the Shell SAC 2045. Dude,
That's good too. That was really
I
good.
am bubbled up when it comes to Ghost in the Shell. I have now seen everything that has been made under the Ghost in the Shell franchise. Everything
Mhm.
from 96,
Mhm.
from 2000, 2001, 97. I watched the Ghost in the Shell movie, which was just basically a movie of
Mhm.
the first season of Ghost in the Shell SAC 2025. I love
Mhm.
the post-humans. This and they're not making anything else from this. So hopefully someone else will pick it up and say, yo, let's make this
Mhm.
because this thing, this is one of those franchises that can never, ever stop because there's no stopping point. Where is it going to stop? This is one of
Yeah,
those
it's
joints you can
like
continually do. You don't have to stop,
yeah,
say,
you
okay,
have to.
this is like the fourth season and we're ending it. We're going to destroy the
Mhm.
world, whatever. Ghost in the Shell, dopest thing I've seen, dude. In terms of
Mhm.
like a TV series, animation, the whole nine. Now, before we get to our very last category, which is Best Picture,
Mhm.
what are you looking for? What are you looking forward to in terms of what's up and coming? For season twos or next seasons for next year. I mean,
That's a good question. I definitely want to see more Andor. I hope they do a season 2 soon, or if they
yeah,
haven't, they should have filmed all that together because it's only a couple of episodes. Like it wouldn't
that's
make
it.
sense to do it all right now.
Yeah,
That's definitely high on my radar. Definitely Game of Thrones season 2. I cannot wait for that. They need to do that as soon as possible.
yeah.
And there's another show called, I think it's called Severance. It's a Apple
Apple, yeah.
exclusive or Apple
Hmm.
TV thing. That was pretty good too. So I
That's a
like the
little
sci-fi
weird
element of
show,
it.
but it's a
It's really
sci-fi
weird.
weird,
It
isn't it?
was weird as hell.
Yeah,
It's super weird as hell. But like I'm definitely vibing that out. So
yeah.
yeah, I want to see that.
I have we and I know we're gonna totally be into this like Foundation, Halo,
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, all that
like you
stuff.
said,
Yeah.
Andor, Loki. There's something on Apple TV called Invasion, which is pretty dope. It's a
Hmm.
sleeper, right? And
Hmm.
I think the thing I'm looking forward to most is a show called The Gilded Age on HBO Max.
Hmm.
It is a period drama. This is probably the best thing I've seen in 2022. The Gilded Age.
Okay.
It's not sci-fi. It's a period drama. And it is so sick. I mean, it was so sick that my wife and we started watching it together. Like, okay, it's on. You know, like go get the popcorn. It's just like big.
Yeah.
It's just like it was so good. So it's a lot of stuff coming up here, man. And I think we should also, get into a bit more of these foreign films because they are doing
they're just better.
They're just
better, man.
They are just.
I'm sorry. Because in North America, it's either a superhero movie or some kind of drama that no one cares about. Like, that's all you get.
I mean, they're talking about the next like Transformer movie. It's just like, really? What are the Transformers doing that's interesting?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I like the foreign movies because they don't have the resources that America has.
Right.
And so they got to be more creative. It forces you to be creative. And I like that stuff. Especially, like, even as cheesy, it's fine. I like just the fact that you're doing something creative and different. Like, Black Crab is a good example. That's a creative movie that they're basically ice skating for a good chunk of the movie. And there's a little battle. And it's a good sci-fi kind of thing about, what's going on in the future. Great movie.
Great movie.
Foreign movie.
Foreign movie. So, speaking of movies, last category, Best Picture of 2022 that we reviewed or that you just watched on your own. What's your best picture?
My best picture of the year is Top Gun. And I'm sorry. I watched this movie like 3-4 times. And I was like, holy crap, this is great. This is great. This is great. And it's just emotionally, like, even though you've seen the movie, emotionally, you still feel tense. And like that's a sign of a quality movie. When you know what's going to happen, but you still feel that energy the first time you watched it. And for me, the nostalgia, all that stuff together, I talked about before, but like that, everything combined made just a quality movie. And you care about all the characters, even people you don't necessarily like, you care about them. And that's super hard to do, especially over a popcorn action movie that's just silly. Because the movie's silly. Let's be real here. It's a silly movie. But the fact that you care about characters, that for me, it was head and shoulders above everything else. What is your number one movie?
You said this movie made $1 billion?
Made $1 billion.
Listen, I'm a Tom Cruise fan. I don't care what he does in his personal life. When he's on film, when he's on the screen, he's Tom Cruise. I want to see his hair blowing. I want to see him running.
He's got run.
I want to see him on a motorcycle. He does a lot of his own stunts too.
He's got to be on a motorcycle.
Tom
You got to
Cruise
run.
is the man. He is the man. Stop fronting on Tom Cruise. He's the man. Okay, people stop fronting on Tom Cruise. Put some respect on his
name, right? Put respect on his name.
Put some respect on Tom Cruise's name. My best picture, I'm going to give it to All Quiet on the Western Front.
Yes. Yeah.
That is, I've never seen anything like that, right? And I know this came out in 1930 and also 82 as a TV series, or 79 as a TV series. But this perspective, the German perspective, the German viewpoint, dude, the cinematography, the production, the visual effects, this thing is banana cakes. It was done so well. And my runner-up is Black Crab, both foreign films. Right?
Yeah, this is a good movie. I watched that a couple times again. Yeah.
Both foreign films, both war films, All Quiet on the Western Front. Phenomenal film, dude. Phenomenal film. I'm just like, wow. This is...
Yeah, I agree.
This thing could have... I mean, it probably wouldn't have done well like in a theater because people just don't know what it is. I didn't know what it was until I started researching it, doing my due diligence. But on a streaming platform, this is exactly where this should have been, on a streaming platform, period. All Quiet on the Western Front. Yeah, man. So I had a really good time like in 2022 reviewing all this stuff, watching all this stuff.
It's a lot of fun doing this thing. And I love the terrible movies. I love the good movies too.
Yeah.
And then you kind of, doing the podcast kind of forces us to watch stuff we probably wouldn't watch.
Yep.
And I like that aspect of it because we need to see more cinema and we need to watch more shows. So
yeah, we like I said, sometimes we got to watch stuff and take an L. The Takeover was an L.
Well, the sci-fi, the movie from China about the whatever the Warriors for the Future, whatever it was.
Oh, Warriors of
Oh
the
my
front.
god, that movie was brutal.
That
was one of the. It was so bad. It was
Warriors
brutal.
of Front or something like that. What do you think about
Yeah,
Troll?
but like, that was a wild movie.
That was wild, wasn't it?
That was a wild movie. You know what? Maybe we can review it next year.
Yeah.
It is a crazy movie.
Yeah.
You got to watch it because you can't believe what you're watching. Like it's like wow.
And again, a foreign film. It's a foreign film. You know. You know, before we leave, and we say this a lot in our podcast, that some of the stuff that we really like, some of the stuff that is just so interesting and compelling are foreign films. They're foreign TV series. I saw something called The One, and I was just like, wow, it's a series, right? I don't know if Netflix will come back out with it, because you know how Netflix does. It's just like, oh, season 1. Oh, we're not going to, you know, we're canceling it.
It's like, screw it. It's too much money. Screw it.
And see, that's the thing about Netflix that I really don't like. You know, they're kind of like slippery when it comes to stuff like that. It's just like, but why?
You can't rely on it being there.
Yeah,
and it kind of sucks.
You know,
like you get invested in something and it's
right.
gone.
You know, so it's just like, you know, they're just trying to put their money in places where they think they're gonna, like, you know, be able to like get a return on investment. I don't know, but you know, it's just like, yeah. So, well, dude, there you have it. Like 2022 year in review. We gave it our best of everything. We gave it our worst, and we have some things that are coming up. I'm not quite sure what's going to be the first thing that's going to be released new in 2023. I do know that on January 5th, The Bad Batch is coming out again with the second season. I love that show because it's just basically a spin-off of like the Clone Wars, you know? So it's kind of dope, you know? So that's the first thing I know that's on my list that's coming out immediately. So we're going to take a break for the holidays. We're going to come back, you know, second or third week of January.
Refreshed.
Yes, refreshed.
not hungover, refreshed.
Yeah, and it's not even the first video in 2023 is not even going to be a review. It's just going to be like, hey, what's up? What are you doing? What's on what's on the agenda for this for moving forward in 2023? You know, just to give you like an update on what's going on. So again, thanks for watching all of our podcasts in 2022, also 2021. We have a lot more stuff coming up in 2023. Maybe even some new and interesting things. I had been thinking about some stuff, and I can just talk to you offline about that. But yeah, so the best of the year in review for the Behind the Groove podcast. Well, there you have it, another episode of the Behind the Groove podcast. I am Basil Barrington.
I am DJ Keo.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And until next time, peace.
All right.
And also have a good holiday and happy New Year.
Happy holidays.
We're not going to see you either. Peace.
Yeah.